Hey guys, welcome back to the Ruby Lane Dolly Cam. Hi Jonathan, you can come on in here and say hello everybody.
Hi,
this is Jonathan Green. I'm sure a lot of you know him. He is a very wonderful and knowledgeable man. Are you having a great show?
Absolutely wonderful.
Wonderful time.
Yes.
So we're here live in the Dolly Cam and introducing our video on the dolls with wardrobes. So we're going to go around. Are you going to be sticking around or cruising?
I can, because actually I'm part of this one.
You are part of this one.
Yes.
Which one did you do? So for those tuning in, we are here for part 2 of the Dolls with Wardrobes. Part 1 was at convention last year. It was the earlier dolls, and now we are looking at dolls from the 1930s all the way to modern day. So Jonathan, which vignette are you responsible for?
Well, the
Kathe Kruse. Okay, so Kathe Kruse. Yeah, okay. So we are having an impromptu mini seminar with the wonderful Jonathan Green right now.
So, well, the ones that are mine are the Kathe Kruse Dorothy, which was an anniversary, a 30th anniversary doll for Kathe Kruse. And it's unusual because it's a large doll one with a swivel neck. And it was only made for a very short period of time. And this doll has the striated eyes, which is also quite rare.
Oh, yeah.
And she has this wardrobe of hand-knit clothing that Mommy would have made for the doll for Christmas, because in Germany, every girl got a full wardrobe to go with their doll. And of course, since these are usually moth food, to find the original knit clothing is really quite rare.
Wonderful. Is this so? You got this all together?
Yes. Yes.
On your travels.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolutely wonderful. And then is that the only doll?
You want to do Ruth Gibbs?
Yes, we would love to do Ruth Gibbs.
Okay. These are 3 trousseau sets of the Ruth Gibbs doll. These were made in Flemington, New Jersey in the 1940s, when a great deal of the toy production and doll production was shut down for the war. So particularly F.A.O. Schwartz, these dolls were sold through F.A.O. Schwartz, among other retailers, as sort of rich uncle gifts when the European toys were not available. And this is what they were famous for, were these presentation boxes with numerous dresses and purses and hats. This doll down here was actually made for Colonial Williamsburg, and so that represented a girl of 18th century. And she probably can't see it with there, but she has little gold buckles on her shoes, just like a real 18th century girl would have had.
Just wonderful. I've never seen a Ruth Gibbs in a presentation box like this with the wonderful clothing. Ruth Gibbs was a China artist. These are not modern, these are not reproductions. Sometimes they get confusing.
Yes, they're not reproductions because she actually radically changed from what a China would be, and they have wire armature bodies. The doll by itself was a play pet, and was meant for a child to play with.
That is so interesting. Thank you.
And then these are Kramerpuppen from Germany, and they were one of the few good dolls that were available in East Germany. They were started by Hildegard Kramer, so she could stay home and take care of her children rather than being forced to work in a factory. And these trunk sets were often used in the East German kindergartens, and also were, of course, luxury playthings under the Soviet rule.
Look at that.
And then if you look, like the little boy there, he has a whole evening set, including a little tin of sunscreen, so he doesn't get sunburned when he goes to the beach.
Oh, they spared no details.
Yes, and there's a little shoe shining kit. So there's a lot of neat accessories that come with these dolls.
So great.
And then these are the Mary Hoyer dolls that were made in the they started in the 40s and into the 50s and into the 60s, but the hard plastic was the heyday in the 1950s. These are all tagged Mary Hoyer garments that would have come from the Mary Hoyer Company, and it shows the variety, including the hula skirts that would have been part of the Mary Hoyer fashion show. She did one where the Mary Hoyer doll got married and went to Hawaii for her honeymoon. and so the hula skirts were part of that line. And this is an original Mary Hoyer trunk that could have been purchased from Mary Hoyer, and the Mary Hoyer Company, their main shop was in Reading, Pennsylvania, but they also had a summer shop in Ocean City, New Jersey. And so this lovely little beach outfit with the umbrella and the hat are both original, are typical of the sort of wonderful detail that she had.
This is just, if you guys are just tuning in, we are actually having a wonderful, we have Jonathan Green here as our docent, leading us through the Dolls with Wardrobes special exhibit right now, and it is such a treat. He is so knowledgeable and teaching us so much. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Okay. These aren't mine, but do you?
Yes.
Okay, so then we have the Ginny doll, which was, of course, you know, the play doll for a little girl in the 1950s. It was such a nice size at 8 inches that you could, of course, take to your friend's house. They had all the wonderful trunks and all the wonderful clothes, so you could get together and play dollies together. And there are some fabulous, the Weekender set, which is still in its original box, and you can see all the wonderful accessories, including the Ginny Stife Scotty dog. And then Ginny also, as time came in and fashion dolls became more important, she has the older sister Jill over there in the corner with her own trunk and her own wardrobe of clothes.
Just wonderful. This exhibit is just so fabulous and wonderful because it appeals to a lot of people that obviously had these as a child, and it is just a wonderful blast from the past. So Sissy, of course.
Yeah, Sissy was absolutely the fashion doll in the 50s, and Madame Alexander won fashion awards for the detailed clothing that often was miniatures of what women would have been wearing in the period. And actually, don't miss, on top of the trunk, there's the little cat's eye glasses and the hat with the artificial flowers and the jewelry. All the details in this were just perfect and all to scale, which, you know, is rather rare in some of the dolls.
She was truly a genius, Miss Madame Alexander, and the Sissy is still reigns supreme as one of the top fashion dolls.
And of course, Barbie. You're doing fashion and wardrobe. You cannot miss Barbie.
She has had more awards bestowed on her head than probably any other fashion doll.
Yes. So, I mean, this is just a wonderful example of all the variety there is, including the Barbie camper. And then, you know, the other iconic from the 60s and 70s is Dawn, who was very sort of Twiggy-esque in her go-go boots and mini skirts and Poochie-esque flowing sleeved garments.
So great. We are here with doll expert Jonathan Green. He has a booth in the sales room, and he is teaching us all about this wonderful exhibit and giving us fabulous commentary. If you guys are tuning in now, you are having a treat.
So American Girl is, of course, probably the most popular doll of today, though she's getting on in years. I mean, it would have been the 1980s she was introduced. And, you know, this was to teach children about history. So these are all the historical garments as a way of teaching girls what history would have been like. And I love they even have the separate pocket there. When you didn't have pockets in clothing, you had a separate pocket that you would wear to keep your garments in.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean, the lovely detail on the hat and the rosettes, and one's traveling cape, Little Red Riding Hood.
So great. If you guys have a question for Jonathan, he is here, so feel free to ask it as you're looking at the exhibits. We are moving up to 1990 with Sasha.
Yes, these are the Sasha dolls, which actually, you know, were made for decades up through the 1990s. These have some very interesting costumes that are still in the original packages with all the original accessories, so you can see what was available. This was intended to be a good, healthful play doll for children. The skin tones went from sort of neutral to the African American, but they were meant to be sort of generic to be able to represent anyone. And the clothing was also meant to be simple to allow the child's imagination to run free and not get tied up in lots and lots of detail.
That is so interesting to know. I did not know so many of these things you're telling us, Jonathan.
And
this
the
is
clothing
great.
of Sasha's, I should be pointed out, are extremely well made because they expected the children to be able to wash these and use them as real clothing. So they're pretty exceptional.
On to the 90s, we have Jean.
Well, first we have Jacqueline Kennedy, who was, of course, known as a fashion plate. And this is a Franklin Mint porcelain Jackie Kennedy with all of the iconic costumes that she wore as First Lady, including, well, prior First Lady is her wedding dress in the box in the bag.
Just wonderful.
Yes. And Jean Marshall, who was, one of the most fabulous fashion leaders of the 1940s. Mel Odom created this doll, and one of the things that was interesting about this doll is he created this as a please take it out of the box and play with it.
Which is so refreshing.
Yes, this came out in the height of the mint in box, let's keep everything on the shelf, and he wanted the collectors to take her out and change the clothing and have fun with her. And it was a breath of fresh air in that time. It really was pretty amazing. And then Robert Tonner, I mean, with his...
We just love Robert Tonner.
Yeah, with his fashion background, I mean, all of his dolls have exquisite wardrobes, exquisite detail. And so here we have Tyler Wentworth and the Kitty Collier doll in the smaller size.
So great.
Yes, and yeah, I love her with the fur and the glasses. Is just incredibly chic.
If I had that outfit, I would be wearing it even here in Orlando.
I'm surprised you don't have that outfit. Actually, it looks very you.
It is.
It
That is me
very,
right there.
Talk to Robert. Maybe he'll make
me one.
Up to size. Yes.
So this is a one of a kind.
This is a one of a kind. And she has her wedding dress.
She looks very young to be getting married.
She does look very young to be getting married, but she also seems to be very happy with the situation.
There's a lot of young
of course,
girls.
if you were getting this entire wardrobe, you'd be happy too.
Yeah, I would.
Yes.
I would get married just for the wardrobe.
And the jewelry. Look
Yeah,
at
and
the
the
jewelry. So, and then, Mary Engelbreit and Robert Tonner did this collaboration with the Mary Engelbreit, and they're just charming, and I love the combination of pattern where you have like the stripes and the houndstooth checks together and the stripes and the floral, and it all works even though it seems like it shouldn't or it'd be too busy, but it's just wonderful and just really a charming one. And of course we have to get in the other hottest thing at the moment is the BJDs.
Yeah.
So, and they're kind of wonderful because you can not only change their clothing, but you can change their wigs, you can change their eyes, you can customize them any way you want, anytime you want. So they really are a wonderful doll to be collecting.
It's a whole world that I personally have no idea about, so it is fun to see them.
And then the Mary Hoyer Doll Company is still in business.
And they're in the sales room.
Yes, and these are the new dolls that are coming out. And Mary Lynn Saunders, who is the granddaughter of Mary Hoyer, has really done a wonderful job of keeping the essence of the Mary Hoyer doll, but updating it into something that's a little fresher and a little more of today, but still keep it as a children's play doll. Yes.
And keeping true to the Mary Hoyer look. They look
Yes.
like Mary Hoyers, which is great.
Yes.
So when we jumped in, we went straight to your doll, but we
missed.
did miss the very first exhibit. So if you guys are tuning in just now, we are here live with Jonathan Green.
Well, this isn't missing. This is keeping let's say, the best for last, because this is a pair of Patsy's with their original store-bought wardrobe.
Oh, wow.
And obviously these were very indulged children, but you cannot find a more wonderful collection of garments for Patsy dolls anywhere.
Look at that romper. Rompers are everything right now.
And the thing is it's a jersey.
It's like jersey romper.
Yes, isn't it?
Oh,
It's like very
I have romper
modern.
envy. I would be wearing that.
Yes, I mean, just think how great that would look cleaning on your
Oh,
body.
it would.
And then there's, the winter outfits down here are just adorable, and there's a riding outfit, and it's just everywhere you look, there's something else. I mean, she's got probably more shoes than you do, but
probably.
Yes.
And they're just wonderful. Look at this, you guys. This
and
is
look
just
at the fur.
such a treat. Look at them. Oh, the moccasins. They look like those Gucci ones that came out that were so...
Aren't they amazing?
Yeah, they are really amazing. So this is an original trousseau of these two Patsy dolls. Now, did this belong to one child or was it twins?
You know what? That I'm not really sure. We'd have to ask Ursula Mertz that. She's the expert on Patsy's.
And then
Shirley Temple.
Yeah, Shirley Temple.
I mean, if American Girl is the doll of today, Shirley Temple was the doll of the 30s, and she had quite a wardrobe to go with her, and her own trunk. If you look over there, you can see Shirley's image on the trunk.
She danced and sang her way into the hearts of millions of people across the world, and left a legacy that everyone still loves Shirley Temple.
And actually, the Shirley Temple doll, for an American doll, had an extremely long shelf life. It went through most of the 30s until really the war effort stopped the production of composition dolls. And then with Shirley Temple's Fairy Tale Theater, picked up again in the 50s. And, you know, most American dolls don't have that kind of longevity.
Right.
So it's really an amazing story.
We just had the best tour led by Jonathan Green, and he was just happened to be walking in the back of our video. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
We are live in the Dolly Cam, and we have just learned so much from Jonathan Green, so we really appreciate it. And thank you to UFDC and your doll club, which is your doll club that...
well, this was done by the Naples
Doll Club. So
Florida.
There's just so much of a collective effort that goes into what we have been experiencing this week. And if you are not involved in UFDC, definitely get involved, because this is the place, and there is no other place for a doll collector to be.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
100%.
We appreciate it, and we will see you guys. Share our video if you loved it. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you again, Jonathan.
Sure.
Good night.